Light dawns on Haikou Beach as athletes from all over the globe assemble for the inaugural Ironman China. China is a land of beauty, diversity and colour, from the tropical splendour of its southern beaches to its extraordinary history and the warmth and friendliness of its people. This is a land of cultural and geographic extremes and a feast for the senses. The host city, Haikou, is the capital of Hainan province and it's poised to become Asia's next big tourist destination as more people discover its tropical charm. It's affectionately called the Coconut City for its abundant palm trees and provides the perfect setting for this world-class event. With top names like Australia's Belinda Granger and former world champion Joe King in the race, alongside Canada's Matthew O'Halloran and German legend Olaf Sabatashus, speculation is rife about possible front-runners. But with soaring temperatures expected and an unknown course, anything can happen over this grueling 17-hour day. Ironman competitors chase races all over the world for their best chance at a coveted slot to Kona, and Ironman China is no exception, attracting nearly 500 global triathletes. For Brazilian-born Aussie Alexandre Barradas, qualifying for Hawaii is a lifelong dream.
It's a dream that has been with me day and night, highs and lows. Every single year of my life for the past 10 years, I dreamed of Hawaii. I basically have lived my life in the past 5 years in function of that race. It has an impact on people around you, family, friends, partners. You make a lot of sacrifices. They make a lot of sacrifices for you. It's definitely a fascinating journey that tests people, not only the competitor, but everybody around the competitor.
Haikou's swim course consists of two 1.9-kilometre loops straight out into the southern China Sea, followed by a gruelling 180-kilometre bike ride. The course takes athletes through two 90-kilometre loops along a smooth highway, past rice paddies, duck farms and grazing buffalo. But the real highlight is where the course passes through Old World China and traditional Chinese villages. The first 30 kilometres of the run is out and back, alternating between Binhai Avenue and the beachfront. The final section takes athletes to Evergreen Park and through older parts of the city before heading towards the finish line in East-West Lake Park. For Alexandre, race day performance all comes down to careful planning. Well, sort of.
I'll swim until my arms fall off, bike until I puke. If you're not vomiting, it means that you haven't biked hard enough. And hit the marathon hard.
The buzz among competitors has been just what kind of mood Mother Nature will be in today. Just 2 days before the race, she unleashed her power with gale-force typhoon winds that put the race in jeopardy and tore through the swim course. Now, as the sun comes up, it looks like it's going to be a scorcher. From the start, it's obvious that this isn't going to be a race based on time. Missing buoys, strong currents and chaos on the swim leg see the majority of age groupers and even the pros suffering in tough swim conditions. Alexandre emerges from the water over 20 minutes slower than his usual time. A sign that with his sights set on Kona, he's going to have to hammer it on the bike.
The Hawaii Ironman Championships is the equivalent of the Wimbledon for tennis players or Mount Everest for mountaineers. If you can get there, finish, you definitely can brag. I've been there.
Halfway through the bike leg, temperatures have soared to over 30 degrees and still climbing. The hot, strong wind offers no relief and there's nowhere to hide, making the once inviting smooth bitumen a heat trap. But there is some welcome relief for the athletes when they hear the cheers and see the sheer joy on the faces of local villagers. Any relief, though, is short-lived.
And the last 30 kilometers is pure pain. You know, your body wants to give up on you, and you are actually dreaming in running a marathon because you want to get off the bike.
Alexandre hits the final transition. having made up some serious time on the bike. But nothing can prepare him for the punishing 42 kilometres that lays ahead.
Once you hit the marathon, your legs feel like bricks in the first 2-3 kilometers. But if you have done your homework, if you have done your training, after 5 kilometers, you get into a rhythm. And that's all about being smart. That background of what happens to you, to your mind, and to your body in an Ironman once you're out there for 7.5 hours. When you reach that point that your body's giving up, that's where experience counts.
With temperatures approaching 40 degrees on the marathon run, strong swim currents and a windy bike leg, this race has all the ingredients to become one of the toughest Ironmans in the world. Finally, lead male and two-time Ironman Brazil champion Alexandre Barradas crosses the finishing line in an amazing 8 hours 52 minutes on a day where extreme heat and humidity saw competitors dropping like flies. In the female stakes, overwhelming favourite Belinda Granger comes through with the goods with a courageous finishing time of 10:08. Testament to how tough the conditions were and proof that in a race like this, it all comes down to mental toughness. As the light begins to fade, the long day draws to an end for Alexandre, and the finishing line is a sight for sore limbs. This was not to be his Kona year, but coming 15th in the 40 to 44 age group in gruelling conditions, the Brazilian-born Aussie proves that he has what it takes to summit his Everest.